We live in a world where millions sleep through their own magnificent potential, trapped not by iron bars, but by invisible chains of their own making. Look around us today and witness this quiet tragedy unfolding in every corner of our society. We see brilliant minds trading their dreams for temporary comfort, scrolling endlessly through digital distractions, while their purpose remains undiscovered. We observe souls yearning for transformation, yet settling for the familiar prison of mediocrity, one excuse at a time, one compromised choice after another. But I envision something radically different for each of us. I see each person becoming the conscious architect of their own cathedral of purpose, where every thought, every word, every deliberate action becomes a sacred stone laid with unwavering intention and unshakable resolve. This is not some distant fantasy reserved for the chosen few, but an immediate possibility waiting in the quiet chambers of every human heart. To reach this promised land of authentic living, we must embrace three fundamental pathways that will transform us from the inside out. First, we must practice what I call identity-first living. This revolutionary approach means we stop waiting to become who we want to be and start embodying that person today, in this very moment. We do not wait to lose weight to feel healthy or worthy. We declare ourselves advocates of health and vitality and align every choice, every meal, every movement with that powerful truth. We do not wait for promotion or recognition to feel like leaders. We lead from exactly where we stand right now, making decisions with the clarity and confidence of those who already know their worth. Identity is not something we receive from external validation or achievement. It is something we claim through the daily evidence of our choices, through the consistent actions that prove to ourselves and the world who we truly are beneath all the surface noise. Our internal dialogue becomes the sculptor of our reality. Every time we declare something about ourselves with conviction, our actions naturally begin to align with that belief, creating a powerful feedback loop of positive transformation. This requires tremendous courage because the world may not immediately recognize your new self. But you are not doing this for their approval or understanding. You are doing this for the person you are becoming, for the future self who is counting on your courage today. This is how we become the steady metronome that brings the erratic song of our lives back into rhythm, allowing our very being to take orders from our soul rather than from the fickle crowd. Second, we must cultivate sacred silence and unwavering clarity. This means deliberately choosing to prioritize inner listening, reflection, and stillness over the relentless clamor of external noise and the desperate craving for constant validation. In a world that often rewards endless chatter, compulsive self-promotion, and the need to fill every moment with distraction, we discover revolutionary power in conscious quietude. This silence is not weakness or passivity, but the fertile ground where our deepest convictions take root and flourish. It is the space where moral intelligence blossoms, and where we discover the medicine of truth that can transform, rather than merely tolerate the injustices around us. By choosing to pause for 3 conscious breaths before reacting, before fighting, before sending that angry message, we break the ancient spell of impulse and allow wisdom to guide our responses. Curiosity, not criticism, becomes our guiding star in this practice. Curiosity unlocks opportunities, strengthens relationships, and deepens self-worth because it invites learning and growth, while criticism shuts down possibility. When we speak from the centered place of authentic clarity, our words carry a weight and authority that no volume or aggression can replicate. We learn to speak truth with kindness, even when our voice trembles with emotion. Third, we must harness the compounding power of small daily votes. Every micro decision we make throughout our day is a powerful ballot cast for the person we are actively becoming. Identity is not forged in a single dramatic declaration or moment of inspiration, but earned through countless repetitions, through daily evidence of our actions, even the ones no one else sees or applauds. Just as no single vote decides a national election, no one choice will define us completely or permanently. But consistent votes, consistent actions aligned with our values will shape absolutely everything about our future selves and our life experience. If we want to embody discipline and self-respect, we cast votes for discipline by rising with our alarm instead of hitting snooze, by finishing what we start even when it becomes difficult, by saying no to distractions that steal our focus and scatter our energy. This is not about seeking perfection or never making mistakes. This is about embracing unwavering alignment between our deepest values and our daily actions. When our behavior consistently reflects our stated beliefs, an unshakable internal resonance takes root that no external circumstance can disturb. The individuals who achieve extraordinary transformation and lasting results are not those born with more talent, luck, or favorable circumstances. They are those who understand that consistent, small, intentional acts compound over time with mathematical certainty. Reading for just 10 minutes daily accumulates to over 60 hours of focused learning in a year, silently and undeniably reshaping their minds, expanding their perspectives, and fundamentally altering the trajectory of their entire lives. We are called to build, not with noise, but with unwavering resolve. This resolve becomes the force that transforms pain into wisdom, struggle into strength, and uncertainty into unshakable faith in our own capacity. It guides us beyond the shifting currents of doubt and the rising tides of fear toward the radiant shores of our truest potential. This inner resolve empowers us to speak truth even when our voice trembles, knowing that courage is not the absence of fear, but purposeful action taken in spite of internal resistance. We are called to build, not with noise, but with unwavering resolve. This is the path to unshakable inner strength, a quiet certainty that endures when everything around us shakes with uncertainty. It is the foundation for a life that inspires transformation in others rather than merely impressing them with surface achievements. Our mission is not temporary applause or fleeting recognition, but enduring impact that echoes through generations, a legacy etched not in monuments of stone, but in the transformed hearts and minds of those we touch along the way. We are called to build, not with noise, but with unwavering resolve. Let us stand tall and unwavering in our commitment to grow, to learn, to serve, and to evolve. For in this sacred act of conscious building, we do not merely change our own lives in isolation. We change the world itself. One truthful word, one disciplined action, one silent but powerful habit at a time, creating ripples of possibility that extend far beyond our individual sight. Starting today, let us plant seeds of lasting transformation through specific, intentional practices that will compound into extraordinary results. Wake up with clear intention by claiming the morning as your sacred space for purpose. Before the world's demands and distractions invade your consciousness, dedicate 5 to 15 minutes to quiet reflection and intentional planning. Ask yourself with genuine curiosity what kind of impact you want to create today. What does your deepest, most authentic self want to build or contribute to the world? This simple but profound practice sets the tone for purposeful living, rather than merely reactive surviving from one crisis to the next. Speak truth with both crystal clarity and genuine kindness, especially in your ongoing internal dialogue with yourself. Your self-talk matters more than you might realize because it becomes the script your mind follows. Replace limiting statements and harsh self-criticism with words of possibility and strength. Choose language that reflects the future you are creating rather than the past you are escaping. With others, let your communication carry weight through honest directness, tempered with sincere empathy and care for their well-being and growth. Face one fear daily, even if it seems small, quiet, or insignificant to others. Fear thrives in darkness, silence, and inaction, but purposeful action creates light, movement, and momentum. Speak up in that meeting you've been avoiding for weeks. Research that business idea you have been postponing indefinitely. Make that phone call you've been dreading but know you need to make. Take the first concrete step toward that creative project calling your name. Each time you act, despite fear, despite discomfort, despite uncertainty, you build undeniable evidence that you are stronger and more capable than you previously believed about yourself. You literally rewire your brain's understanding of what you can handle and accomplish. Commit to learning one genuinely valuable thing each and every day. Dedicate at least 10 focused minutes to reading, listening, or reflecting on ideas that sharpen your judgment, improve your skills, or build your confidence. This is not about consuming information for entertainment, but about deliberately acquiring wisdom that transforms how you think and act. This consistent intake of valuable knowledge compounds exponentially over time, gradually shifting your entire worldview and enabling increasingly better decisions. Protect sacred time for honest self-reflection by carving out moments of genuine stillness in our increasingly frantic world. Whether through 5 minutes of morning silence, a contemplative walk in nature without devices, or thoughtful journaling before sleep, these protected spaces allow your mind to process experiences, separate urgent demands from truly important priorities, and reconnect with your inner wisdom and authentic values. This is where you learn to distinguish between fears that belong to you and anxieties that have been projected onto you by others. This is where you discover how much of what feels urgent is actually trivial, and how much of your untapped potential is waiting to be activated. Keep every single promise you make to yourself, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant it may appear. This practice is the absolute bedrock of self-respect and unshakable confidence. When you say you will do something and then follow through consistently, you build internal proof that you can be counted on, that your word means something, that you are someone who honors commitments and values integrity. This strength builds layer by layer, choice by choice, promise by promise. Practice conscious self-control over immediate impulses and reactive emotions by pausing for 3 intentional breaths before responding to triggers. This brief but powerful delay allows your creativity and wisdom to choose your response rather than simply reacting from old patterns, childhood wounds, or current stress. This is how we live in intentional control of our responses rather than being controlled by our emotional reactions to circumstances. Engage in daily physical movement and exercise to honor your body as the sacred vessel and foundation of your purpose. Whether through a mindful 10-minute walk, focused stretching and breathing, or more intensive physical training, regular movement builds mental resilience and emotional strength alongside physical health and vitality. It reminds you viscerally that you are not your excuses, that you have the power to move forward despite discomfort. Review your day with completely honest assessment each evening. Set aside time to ask yourself what you did well and can celebrate, where you fell short of your own standards and can improve, and what specific adjustments you will make tomorrow to align more closely with your values. This simple but consistent habit of self-examination, approached with curiosity rather than harsh judgment, is the only reliable path to genuine growth and lasting change. Say no firmly but kindly to energy-draining activities and toxic influences to protect your precious and finite mental, emotional, and physical reserves. Your energy is not unlimited, and wise allocation of it is absolutely crucial for creating a life of quality and meaning. This includes setting clear boundaries with yourself regarding laziness, procrastination, and gossip, and choosing to surround yourself with influences that lift you higher, rather than drag you down into mediocrity or negativity. Act decisively, even when you do not feel ready, confident, or fully prepared. The biggest mistake most people make is waiting to feel ready or motivated. If you wait for those feelings, you will wait forever because confidence and motivation follow action, not the other way around. Progress and transformation begin when you move first with trembling hands and an uncertain voice, trusting that clarity will come through engagement rather than endless planning. This consistent choice to act despite internal resistance builds both mental strength and concrete evidence of your capabilities, gradually rewiring your belief system about what you can accomplish. Focus deeply and consistently on one clear priority by courageously eliminating distractions that scatter your energy and attention. Most people attempt to pursue everything simultaneously and end up achieving very little of lasting value or significance. True discipline begins with painful clarity about your direction and the difficult courage to eliminate what does not serve your primary vision, even when those things are enjoyable or socially expected. Practice daily gratitude by consciously acknowledging small victories and moments of grace. Even in the midst of significant challenges and setbacks, you can find specific reasons for appreciation and thankfulness. Writing down 3 particular things you are grateful for each night strengthens positive neural pathways in your brain and gradually shifts your default perspective from scarcity consciousness to abundance awareness. Cultivate honest curiosity instead of harsh criticism, especially when things do not go according to your plans or expectations. When faced with setbacks, failures, or disappointing results, train yourself to ask what you can learn and how you can grow from this experience, rather than immediately attacking yourself for what went wrong. Curiosity opens up new opportunities and fosters resilience and self-worth, while criticism shuts down learning, creativity, and forward momentum. Build something genuinely meaningful with your time and energy today rather than merely consuming what others have created for their own purposes. Whether it involves writing a single page, learning a practical new skill, developing a creative project, or contributing to a cause larger than yourself. Dedicated time spent in active creation reminds you that your life has real value and can positively shape the future. This intentional building and creating replaces doubt with direction, excuses with evidence, and despair with hope that comes from within. These practices are not gentle suggestions for someday when you feel more motivated. They are urgent invitations for immediate implementation in your daily life. Each conscious choice we make today, each small act of courage and integrity, carves a path not just for our own transformation, but for all who observe our example and witness our growth, inspiring possibilities so profound they will feel almost miraculous. Excellence emerges not from perfection or the absence of mistakes, but from the sustained courage to begin with exactly what we have, where we are, in whatever circumstances we currently face, exactly as we are right now, without waiting for ideal conditions. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or ideal circumstances, and start creating those conditions through purposeful, intentional action. The world desperately needs your unique contribution and perspective, but it must first be developed and refined through daily discipline and unwavering commitment to your highest vision of who you can become. True strength reveals itself not in the absence of struggle, conflict, or difficulty, but in the conscious choice to keep building your character and capabilities when everything around you encourages settling for less than your potential. We become who we are meant to be through what we repeatedly choose to do, not through what we occasionally attempt when we feel inspired. The gap between knowing what we should do and actually doing it consistently is precisely where most dreams, aspirations, and good intentions go to die. Bridge this critical gap through reliable systems rather than fluctuating motivation, through clear identity rather than vague goals, through accumulated evidence rather than wishful thinking alone. Create a life so perfectly aligned with your deepest values and authentic nature that you sleep peacefully each night and wake energized each morning, knowing that your daily choices reflect your true self rather than the expectations, pressures, or judgments of others. This transformation is not about becoming someone else entirely, but about courageously removing the accumulated layers of conditioning, fear, and false beliefs that obscure who you have always been beneath the surface. Your truest, most authentic self is not something to achieve or attain, but something to uncover, embrace, and express with increasing courage and clarity. We stand together at a crucial crossroads where every path leads somewhere specific, but only one leads to the life that will make you genuinely proud when you look back from the end of your days with full awareness. Choose the path that requires you to grow, to stretch, to face your fears, to serve something greater and more meaningful than temporary comfort or convenience. The people who inspire us most deeply throughout history are not those who never encountered struggle, failure, or setback, but those who consciously transformed their struggles into stepping stones toward a life of profound meaning, service, and positive impact. Your current challenges, obstacles, and difficulties are not barriers to your future success, but the precious raw materials from which your character and strength will be forged. Embrace discomfort, uncertainty, and challenge as your wise teacher rather than your enemy. Every single time you do what you know you should do, especially when you do not feel like doing it or when it requires effort, you build the kind of internal strength and integrity that cannot be taken from you by any external circumstances, setbacks, or other people's actions or opinions. Remember that you are not just changing your own life in isolation, but modeling what is possible for everyone who knows you, watches you, or hears your story. Your personal transformation gives others permission and inspiration to believe that genuine change is possible for them too. This ripple effect of positive influence extends far beyond your individual journey and contributes to the healing and elevation that our world desperately needs. Start exactly where you are with whatever resources you currently have available and trust completely that consistent small steps in the right direction will compound into extraordinary destinations and achievements if you absolutely refuse to quit when progress feels slow or invisible. The choice is entirely yours to make. The time is right now in this present moment, and your future self is counting on the decisions and commitments you make in these next few minutes and hours. Let today be the day you finally stop preparing to live your real life and start actually living the life you came here to create and share. The architecture of your awakening begins with a single stone of intention, laid with purpose and commitment in the sacred ground of this present moment. Your magnificent cathedral of purpose awaits your hands, your heart, and your unwavering dedication. Begin building today and never stop until your vision becomes reality. The morning sun rises with perfect consistency regardless of whether we witness its beauty or remain asleep. The fundamental question facing each of us is not whether transformation and growth are possible, but whether we will claim our rightful role as conscious architects of the life we truly want to live and the legacy we want to leave. Your cathedral of purpose awaits your hands, your commitment, and your love. Begin building today with whatever materials you have and let your life become a masterpiece.